Good morning, I'm Shane, and in this video I'm going to be discussing how I like to make my iced pour-over coffee, also known as a Japanese-style iced coffee. If you ever worked with me and I've made coffee at work, this is usually my go-to method when using a Hario V60 and I want to make iced coffee. So today I'm going to be using some beans from Detour Coffee. These are their Naga Singage beans, which are from Ethiopia. It's a small collective. They're very nice, relatively aromatic beans with kind of hints of sweet tea and lemon. I have had great success making these for iced, so I'll be using them again today. I'm going to be using 20 grams of beans. So that's usually my go-to brew amount. Sometimes I'll go up to 30, sometimes I'll use just 15, but for the sake of simplicity, today I'll be using 20. So before I figure out the ratio that I'd like to use, I'm going to figure out how much ice I'm going to have, and ideally I'll be using 200 grams of ice. So I'll tare my scale and then I'll add some ice into here with where I'm going to be pouring the coffee into. There we go. So I got 200 grams of ice in there, and now I'm going to quickly rinse my filter. I'm using the bleach filters. I like these better than the natural fiber filters. I find that they're just a little bit easier to brew with and are a little bit slower. I don't have any evidence to support my theories, but that is my opinion. So I just prefer to use them. Yeah, there you go. I always like to make a little divot in the middle. I saw James Hoffman do this, and yeah, I really like having the little hole in the middle. It makes for a nice target to pour into. Normally while I'm using a V60, I like to use a 16:1 brew ratio, so I use 16 grams of water for every 1 gram of coffee bean. However, while I'm making iced pour over, I generally go a little bit less in my ratio, so I'll use between a 12 to 16:1 ratio. So today I'm going to use a 12:1 ratio just for the sake of being a little bit creative, but I find just because I'm going to have so much more ice in the water afterwards, it dilutes it so much. I kind of like having a little bit of a stronger or concentrated brew, and I find at 12:1 the flavor profile isn't too far off from what you would expect. So I enjoy this for the sake of kind of just having the best final cup. However, you can experiment with what you like and see what works best for you. I already have my water boiled to 95 degrees and I'm gonna start pouring. I always do a bloom still for about 30 to 45 seconds with 75 grams of water. So because I'm using 20 grams of beans and I'm going to be targeting a 12:1 ratio, I'm going to roughly want to make 240 grams of water get in here. So for my first pour, I'm going to try and hit around 150 grams of water. I'll do a little bit of a swirl, just to add some agitation and make sure none of the beans are sticking to the wall and not getting exposed to water. My total brew time I'm going to target for between 2 to 3 minutes. I'm not 100% I'll hit that perfectly today, just because my grind size isn't always perfect while I'm switching beans up, but hopefully I'll hit that. So it's been about 1:40 now, and I'm going to add a bit more water. And I'm going to go for my target of 240 with this pour. little bit, final agitation. So relatively speaking, if I'm not talking while making the coffee, this whole process takes less than 5 minutes, and really the most time consuming part is right now while you're pouring. There we go. And that was in a total of about 2 minutes and 50 seconds, including the bloom. So that's gonna be it. Now it's just time to enjoy the coffee. The nicest thing about making coffee this way is that it's ready to drink right away because it's already iced. Overall though, again, I really enjoy making coffee with this method, and if you are feeling adventurous, I highly recommend giving it a try. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a fantastic day.